Hayop na ulan to, parang may personal na galit sa akin, bulong ni Noel sa sarili, habang pilit na sinisilip ang daan sa gitna ng rumaragasang hangin at halos pahalang na buhos ng tubig. Basang-basa na siya, mula sa buhok niyang tumutulo hanggang sa sapatos niyang lumalangway na sa sarili nitong lawa. Kung may sign man akong hinihintay para malaman kung malas talaga ako ngayong araw, baka ito na iyon, ay full-blown, signal number 3 level, you're screwed, sign from the universe. Kanina pa siya paikot-ikot dito sa Isla de Clara, isang lugar na first time niyang mapuntahan. Dapat sana, chill na sembrek lang kasama ang pinsan niyang si Miguel na kalilipat lang dito. Pero heto, sinalubong agad siya ng weather na parang galing sa pelikulang may end of the world theme. His phone. Dead. Ang payong niyang nabili sa Divisoria. Sumuko na ata sa unang bugso pa lang ng hangin, naiwan sa kung saang kanto. Paksyat naman, daing niya ulit, nanginginig na sa ginaw. The wind cut through his thin shirt like a knife. Wala man lang masilungan. Lahat ng tindahan sarado na, mga bahay, madidilim na ang bintana. Parang ghost town ang dating. Just when he was about to give up and maybe just see he under non-existent eve, may naaninag siyang malamlam na ilaw sa dulo ng isang makipot na eskinita. It was faint, almost swallowed beside the darkness and the rain, but it was there. Hope, or something like it, flickered in his chest. Sana naman bukas pa yon. Kahit ano, tatanggapin ko basta masilungan lang. Nilakasan niya ang loob, tinakbo ang eskinita, bawat hakbang ay may kasamang malakas na talsik ng tubig baha na hanggang tuhod na niya. Pagdating niya sa tapat ng ilaw, nakita niya isang maliit na flower shop. Bulaklakang ligaya, basa niya sa medyo kupas ng singboard na kahoy, may mga nakaukit na sampagita sa gilid. Flower shop. Sa ganitong oras, bukas pa. Hindi na siya nag-aksaya ng panahon. Dahan-dahan niyang itinulak ang pinto na gawa sa salamin na may kahoy na frame. Tumunog ang isang maliit na wind chime sa itaas nito, a surprisingly delicate sound amidst the raging storm. Amoy ng sariwang bulaklak, lupa, at something sweet and calming ang sumalubong sa kanya. Para siyang biglang napunta sa ibang dimensyon, malayo sa ingay at gulo ng ulan sa labas. Sa loob, isang babae ang nakatalikod, abala sa pag-aayos ng isang baukwet ng puting rosas sa ibabaw ng isang lumang mesang kahoy. Nakasuot ito ng simpleng itim na bestida na hanggang tuhod, ang buhok niyang maitim at medyo alon-alon ay nakapusod ng bahagya, ilang hibla ang nakawala at humahaplos sa kanyang batok. She moved with a quiet grace, her hands deft as they handled the delicate blooms. Hindi siya lumingon agad, tila ba sanay na may pumapasok kahit anong oras. Miss, pasensya na po sa abala, simula ni Noel, medyo alanganin ang boses. Nanginginig pa rin siya, at alam niyang mukha siyang basang sisiw. Pwede po bang makisilong muna? Sobrang lakas po kasi talaga ng ulan sa labas, Wala na po akong ibang masilungan. Doon lang huminto sa ginagawa ang babae. Dahan-dahan siyang humarap at pakiramdam ni Noel, parang huminto rin ang paghinga niya ng isang segundo. She wasn't conventionally stunning in a flashy way, pero may kung anong dating sa kanya. Her eyes, dark and deep-set, seemed to hold a universe of unspoken stories. Medyo matangos ang ilong, at ang labi niya, kahit walang kolorete, ay may natural na mapulang kulay, parang laging may gustong sabihin pero pinipigilan. She looked older than him, maybe early to mid-30s, but there was a timeless quality to her face. Her gaze was intense, parang tinitimbang siya. Sige, sabi niya, ang boses niya ay mahinahon, parang agos ng ilog, pero may bahid ng pagod. O baka lungkot? Halika, pumasok ka. Delikado na sa labas. May maliit siyang ngiti, pero hindi ito umabot sa kanyang mga mata. Her eyes were still on him, taking in his drenched state. Salamat po talaga, miss. Ligaya, sagot niya. Simple. Walang dagdag. Noel po, pakilala ni Noel, medyo nahihiya pa rin. He could feel water dripping from his hair onto the shop's clean, wooden floor. Pasensya na po talaga sa istorbo at sa dumi. Okay lang, sabi ni Ligaya, at sa pagkakataong ito, parang may konting amusement sa tono niya. Mukhang kailangan mo ng tuwalya bago ka maging yelo dyan. Walang sabi-sabi, pumasok siya sa isang maliit na kortinang bed sa likod ng counter. Pagbalik niya, may dala na siyang isang malinis, puting tuwalya. Eto, sabi niya, inaabot kay Noel. Punasan mo iyang sarili mo. May mainit akong tsaa kung gusto mo. As Noel reached for the towel, their fingers brushed. Isang mabilis na sandali lang yon, mere grace of skin against skin, pero parang may kung anong kuryenteng gumapang sa braso ni Noel, umakyat hanggang bato. Ano iyon? Static. Napatingin siya kay Ligaya, pero ang ekspresyon nito ay kalmado pa rin, though he thought he saw a flicker, just a teeny flicker of something unreadable in her dark eyes before she looked away. Kilig. Hindi, it felt more like jolt of pure, unexpected intriga. Salamat po, medyo nautal niyang sabi, iniwas ang tingin at sinimulang tuyuin ang buhok at mukha. The towel smelled faintly of sampagita and something else, something clean and subtly sweet. It was a comforting scent. Maupo ka muna doon, turo ni Ligaya sa isang maliit na rattan stool sa gilid, malapit sa isang estante na puno ng maliliit na paso ng succulents. Gagawa lang ako ng tsaa. Tumango si Noel at naupo. Pinagmasdan niya si Ligaya habang nagtitimpla ito ng tsaa sa isang maliit na hot plate sa likod ng counter. Ang bawat galaw niya ay puno ng deliberate grace. Hindi siya nagmamadali, parang may sarili siyang etiquette na sinusunod. The shop itself was small, but it felt full. Puno ng buhay kahit tahimik. Every corner had something interesting, dried flowers hanging from the ceiling, small ceramic figurines peeking from behind pots, old books about botany stacked on a shelf. It felt personal, lived in. Anong klaseng tsaa to, Miss Ligaya? Tanong ni Noel nang iabot sa kanya ang isang tasa ng mainit na inumin. The warmth seeped into his cold hands. Ang bango, Sa labat na may konting honey at kalamansi, sagot niya, umupo sa isa pang stool sa tapat niya, may hawak ding tasa. Para sa sipon at sa mga naligaw sa ulan. This time, a genuine smile touched her lips, and it transformed her face, making her look softer, almost mischievous. Noel chuckled. Sakto po. Mukhang ako yung target market niyan ngayon. He took a sip. The ginger tea was strong, spicy, and sweet all at once. It warmed him from the inside out. Salamat po ulit. You're a lifesaver. Wala iyon, sabi ni Ligaya, ang tingin ay nasa labas, sa ulan na medyo humina na pero malakas pa rin. Minsan, kailangan lang natin ng konting silong. Nagkaroon ng ilang sandaling katahimikan, tanging ang tunog lang ng mahinang pagpatak ng ulan sa bubong at ang paminsan-minsang pagtunog ng wind chimes ang maririnig. Noel found himself studying Ligaya's face. May mga fine lines sa gilid ng kanyang mga mata, pero imbes na magmukha siyang matanda, parang nagdagdag lang iyon sa lalim ng kanyang karakter. Lagi po bang ganito ka-peaceful dito sa shop niyo? Tanong ni Noel, trying to break the comfortable silence. Ligaya turned her gaze back to him. Madalas, mas gusto ko ng tahimik. Ang mga bulaklak hindi naman maingay. Sa bagay, Noel agreed. Pero parang may sarili silang sinasabi, no? Tumingin siya sa paligid, sa iba't ibang kulay at hugis ng mga bulaklak. May mga paborito po ba kayo? Ngumiti si Ligaya, a wistful kind of smile. Lahat sila may kanya-kanyang ganda. Pero meron isa di. Tumayo siya at lumapit sa isang partikular na display sa gilid, malapit sa bintana. Doon, sa isang simpleng paso na gawa sa terrakota, ay may isang halaman na may iisang bulaklak. It was unlike anything Noel had ever seen. The petals were deep, velvety indigo, almost black, with edges that seemed to shimmer faintly in the dim light. It was breathtakingly beautiful, but there was also an air of profound loneliness about it. Ito, sabi ni Ligaya, her voice barely a whisper as she gently touched one of the petals. Hindi to for sale. Napataas ang kilay ni Noel. Wow! Ang ganda niyan, Miss Ligaya. Bakit naman hindi for sale? Siguradong ang daming magkakagusto dyan. Ligaya's gaze remained on the flower. May mga bagay kasi, Noel, na kahit gaano pa kaganda, hindi para ipamigay o ibenta. Para lang alagaan, para titigan para sa isang tao lang, o para sa isang alaala. Her words hung in the air, heavy with unspoken meaning. Noel felt a strange tug in his chest. Hindi lang tungkol sa bulaklak ang sinasabi niya, sigurado siya doon. May mas malalim, may mas personal. He wanted to ask more, to understand the story behind that flower, behind her words, but something in her eyes, fleeting shadow of pain, made him hold back. The rain outside had softened to a gentle drizzle. The earlier fury of the storm was gone. Mukhang tumila na, sabi ni Ligaya, finally looking away from the indigo flower, her expression shifting back to its usual calm composure. Pwede ka nang umalis kung kailangan mo na. Noel looked out. Nga po. He stood up, suddenly feeling a strange reluctance to leave. The warmth of the shop, the tea, Ligaya's quiet presence, it was a stark contrast to the cold, indifferent world outside. Sige po, Miss Ligaya. Maraming salamat po talaga sa lahat. Sa silong, sa tuwalya, sa tsaa. Walang anuman, Noel, she said, giving him another small, enigmatic smile. Mag-iingat ka sa daan. Kinuha niya ang basang bag niya. As he reached the door, he paused and turned back. Ligaya was watching him, her head tilted slightly, an unreadable expression on her face. It wasn't just politeness, it felt like curiosity. The same curiosity that was churning inside him. Yung bukas po ba kayo ulit? The question slipped out before he could stop it. Smooth, no. Real smooth. A teeny smile played on Ligaya's lips. Araw-araw akong nandito. Dito na ako nakatira sa taas. Ah, okay po. He nodded, feeling a bit foolish but also pleased. Sige po. Ingat din po kayo. He pushed the door open, and the cool, damp air of the outside world enveloped him again. The rain had indeed stopped, leaving behind glistening streets and the fresh scent of wet earth. Huminga siya ng malalim. Paghakbang niya palabas, bago siya tuluyang lumiko sa kanto ng eskinita, hindi niya napigilang sumulyap pabalik. Nakatingin pa rin si Ligaya mula sa bintana ng kanyang tindahan, isang anino sa gitna ng mga bulaklak, ang mukha niya ibahagyang natatakpan ng dilim. For a heartbeat, their eyes met across the distance. Then, she gave a very small, almost imperceptible nod before turning away, disappearing into the deeper shadows of her shop. Noel stood there for a moment longer, the echo of her presence, the scent of sampaguita, and that mysterious indigo flower, lingering in his mind. He should be on his way to his cousin's place, but a strange pull, an undeniable intrigue, held him rooted to the spot. Ligaya. Her name, her shop, her eyes, that flower not for sale. A slow smile spread across Noel's face as he finally started walking, the earlier misery of being caught in the storm completely forgotten. Hindi niya alam kung bakit, pero pakiramdam niya, ang gabing iyon, sa kabila ng bagyo, ay simula ng isang bagay na hindi niya palubos maintindihan. Something told him he'd be back to that little flower shop on the corner, sooner rather than later. The intrigue was too strong to ignore. Kinabukasan, kahit medyo hangover pa sa biglaang inuman nila ni Miguel kagabi, na nauwi sa videoke hanggang 2:00 ng madaling araw, ang unang pumasok sa isip ni Noel pagkagising ay hindi ang sakit ng ulo niya, kundi ang amoy ng sampagita at ang mga mata ni Ligaya. Ano ba tong nangyayari sa akin? He thought, rolling over in bed. Parang high school lang, ah. Pero hindi niya mapigilan. There was something about her, about that little flower shop, that pulled him in. Kaya naman, pagkatapos ng late breakfast nila ni Miguel, napuno ng kwentuhan tungkol sa mga adventures nito sa Isla de Clara, na mostly tungkol sa mga babaeng na-meet niya sa beach, nagpaalam si Noel na mag-ikot-ikot lang. Mag-ikot? Saan naman? Baka gusto mo samahan kita, may alam akong spot na. Hindi tol, okay lang ako, putol ni Noel, medyo mabilis. Gusto ko lang mag-isa. Mag-explore, ganoon. Ayaw niyang aminin, kahit sa sarili niya, na may specific destination na siya sa isip. His feet, as if with a mind of their own, led him back to the narrow eskinita. This time, under the bright morning sun, the bulaklakang Ligaya looked less mysterious and more charming. The wooden signboard seemed warmer, the flowers in the window display more vibrant. Pagpasok niya, the bell chimed, and there she was. Ligaya. Nakasuot ng simpleng puting blusa at maong na palda, abala sa pagpupunas ng mga dahon ng isang malaking halaman malapit sa bintana. She looked up when he entered, and for a split second, Noel thought he saw a hint of surprise, and was that pleasure in her eyes before her usual calm expression settled back in. "Noel," she greeted, her voice as soft as he remembered. "Napadaan ka." It wasn't a question, more like a statement. "Ah, Miss Ligaya," medyo awkward na sagot ni Noel, napakamot sa bato. "Napadaan lang nga. Maganda pala dito pag umaga, no?" Smooth self. Real smooth. Mas maraming liwanag, she simply said, then gestured towards the flowers. "Kagagaling ko lang sa bagsakan kaninang madaling araw." "Mga sariwa yan." "Bagsakan?" "Sa palengke ng mga bulaklak," paliwanag ni Ligaya. "Maaga yun. Doon kinukuha ng karamihan ng mga florista dito sa isla ang mga paninda nila." An idea sparked in Noel's mind. "Talaga? Pwede ba akong sumama minsan?" He cringed inwardly at how eager he sounded. Ligaya paused in her leaf wiping. Tinitigan niya si Noel, yung tingin niyang parang binabasa ang kaluluwa mo. "Bakit naman?" "Wala lang. Curious lang ako," mabilis na sagot ni Noel. "Parang interesting. Saka, para may magawa naman ako." "Sembreak, eh." Ligaya seemed to consider it for a moment. Then, a small smile. "CJ, kung magigising ka ng 4:00 ng madaling araw. Kaya yan," Noel declared, perhaps a little too enthusiastically. And so began Noel's frequent visits to Bulaklakang Ligaya. Minsan, tutulong siya sa pagdidilig ng mga halaman o sa pag-aayos ng mga bagong dating na bulaklak. Madalas, uupo lang siya sa rattan stool, manonood habang si Ligaya ay gumagawa ng mga arrangement, or sometimes, they would just talk. He learned small things about her. Napaborito niyang kulay ang berde kasi kulay ng buhay. Na mas gusto niya ang kape kaysa't saa, pero yung matapang. Natakot siya sa ipis, kahit anong liit. These little details, mundane as they were, felt like precious gems to Noel, slowly piecing together the puzzle that was Ligaya. One afternoon, she was teaching him how to make a simple hand-tied bouquet. Their hands would occasionally brush as she guided his clumsy fingers, and each time, Noel felt that familiar jolt, that spark. He'd glance at her, but Ligaya would pretend not to notice, her focus intently on the flowers, though he could sometimes see faint blush creep up her neck. "Hindi ka ba nalulungkot dito mag-isa, Miss Ligaya?" he asked one time, habang pinagmamasdan niya itong mag-isa na nag-aayos ng mga libro sa estante. The shop was quiet, the late afternoon sun casting long shadows. She paused, her back to him. "Sanay na ako," she said softly. "At saka, hindi naman ako mag-isa. Kasama ko naman sila." She gestured to the flowers around them. "Pero iba pa rin yung tao, di ba?" Noel pressed gently. "Pamilya, mga kaibigan." Ligaya slowly turned to face him. There was a shadow in her eyes, a fleeting glimpse of deep-seated sadness that made Noel's chest itch. "Wala na akong pamilya dito sa isla. Malayo sila. At ang mga kaibigan bihira." "Ako," Noel blurted out, then mentally kicked himself. "Ano ba yan, ang corny?" Ligaya looked at him, a surprised, almost vulnerable expression on her face. Then, she gave a small, sad smile. "Bata ka pa, Noel. Marami ka pang makikilalang iba." "Hindi naman yun ang punto ko," sabi ni Noel, medyo napipikon sa sarili. "Ang ibig kong sabihin, pwede naman tayong maging magkaibigan. Kung okay lang sa'yo." The silence stretched for a moment. Ligaya's gaze was unreadable. Then, she nodded slowly. "Salamat, Noel." Their conversations deepened after that. Noel found himself opening up to her in ways he rarely did with anyone else, not even Miguel. He talked about his strained relationship with his mother, who was always too busy with her business, about his frustrations with his course na parang hindi naman talaga niya gusto, about his dreams of becoming a writer, his dream he kept hidden from everyone. Ligaya listened. She didn't offer easy advice or platitudes. She just listened, her eyes full of a quiet understanding that made him feel seen. She, in turn, shared bits and pieces of her own life, though always vaguely, always with a certain reserve. She mentioned a childhood spent in a different province, a love for books, a past that seemed to be filled with more shadows than light. She never talked about past relationships, and Noel never dared to ask. May kung anong harang, an invisible wall na nararamdaman niya sa tuwing napupunta doon ang usapan. One humid afternoon, after a particularly tiring trip to the flower market, Noel actually managed to wake up at 4:00, much to Ligaya's amusement and his own surprise. They were sitting under the shade of a large sampaguita tree in a quiet corner of a nearby park. Nagpapahinga sila, may bitbit na tig-isang bote ng malamig na tubig. The air was thick with the sweet, intoxicating scent of sampaguita blossoms. Alam mo, Noel, Ligaya began, her voice soft, almost blending with the rustling leaves. Minsan, naiisip ko para tayong mga bulaklak. May kanya-kanyang panahon ng pamumukadkad, may kanya-kanyang tinatagong bango at may kanya-kanyang tinik. Noel looked at her. The dappled sunlight filtering through the leaves played on her face, making her look ethereal. Anong tinik mo, Ligaya? He asked, his voice barely above a whisper. He dropped that miss, and it felt right. Ligaya didn't answer immediately. She picked a fallen sampaguita blossom from the grass, twirling it between her fingers. Marami, she finally said, her gaze distant. Masyadong marami para bilangin. Lahat naman tayo may tinik, siguro, Noel said, trying to sound reassuring. Part yun ng pagiging tao. She looked at him then, her eyes searching his. Pero paano kung yung mga tinik na yon nakakasakit na ng iba? Nakakasakit na ng mga taong mahalaga sa'yo. Noel felt spang in his chest. He didn't know Gale, but her words felt personal, directed at him. Hindi ko alam, he admitted honestly. Siguro susubukan kong mag-ingat. O baka tatanggalin ko yung mga tinik kung kaya. Ligaya let out a soft, melancholic laugh. Sana ganun lang kadali, Noel. Sana. They sat in silence for a while, the unspoken tension hanging heavy between them. Noel wanted to reach out, to take her hand, to tell her that whatever her thorns were, he didn't care. But he was scared. Scared of what she might say, scared of what he was starting to feel. Ligaya, he began, his voice a little shaky. May nararamdaman ako para sa'yo. The words were out before he could stop them, raw and honest. Ligaya went very still. Her eyes widened slightly, and he saw her hand, the one holding the sampaguita, tremble. She didn't look at him. She just stared straight ahead, at the ancient trunk of the sampaguita tree. Noel D. She whispered, her voice barely audible. Hindi pwede. Bakit? Noel's heart pounded in his chest. Dahil ba sa edad? Ligaya, hindi mahalaga sakin yun. Hindi lang yun, she cut him off, her voice tight with an emotion he couldn't quite decipher. Guilt? Fear? Maraming dahilan. Mga dahilan na hindi mo maiintindihan. Then explain it to me. Noel pleaded, frustration creeping into his tone. Kausapin mo ako, Ligaya. Please. She finally turned to him, and his breath caught in his throat. Her eyes were glistening with unshed tears. There was so much pain in them, so much conflict. Ayokong masaktan ka, Noel, she said, her voice breaking. At ayokong masaktan ang sarili ko. Ulit. Before Noel could say anything, before he could process the raw vulnerability in her voice, Ligaya leaned in. Her hand, still trembling, came up to cup his cheek. Her eyes searched his, as if looking for an answer, or perhaps, an escape. And then, she kissed him. It wasn't a gentle, hesitant kiss. It was desperate, hungry, full of all the unspoken words, the pent-up emotions, the fear and the longing that had been simmering between them for weeks. The scent of sampaguita enveloped them, mingling with the taste of her lips, a taste that was both sweet and sorrowful. Noel responded with equal fervor, his arms instinctively going around her waist, pulling her closer. The world around them faded away, the park, the trees, the distant sounds of the city. There was only Ligaya, her lips on his, her body pressed against him, her quiet sobs muffled against his mouth. It was a kiss that tasted of forbidden fruit, of stolen moments, of a joy so intense it bordered on pain. Teeny white sampaguita blossoms, dislodged here, a sudden breeze, rained down around them, like fragile, fragrant teardrops. When they finally broke apart, gasping for air, both of them were shaken. Ligaya's face was flushed, her eyes wide and luminous with tears that now freely flowed. She quickly wiped them away, a look of panic dawning on her face. Hindi dapat nangyari to, she stammered, pulling away from him, her body trembling. Mali to, Noel. Mali. Ligaya, Noel reached for her, but she flinched, stepping back as if burned. Uwi na ako, she said, her voice barely a whisper, already turning to leave. She didn't look back. Noel watched her go, his heart a chaotic mess of elation, confusion, and a dawning sense of dread. The taste of her kiss, the scent of sampaguita, lingered on his lips, a bittersweet reminder of what had just transpired. He knew, with a certainty that both thrilled and terrified him, that something had irrevocably changed between them. That kiss under the rain of white sampaguita blossoms wasn't just a kiss. It was a beginning. But as he stood there alone, the fallen petals at his feet, a cold knot of guilt began to form in his stomach. Ligaya's fear, her whispered words of mali too, they echoed in his mind. What secrets was she hiding behind those sad, beautiful eyes? And what would happen now that they had crossed a line that, perhaps, should never have been crossed? The sweet scent of sampaguita suddenly felt cloying. The morning after the kiss under the sampaguita tree, Noel woke up in a bed that wasn't his cousin's. It was Ligaya's. He blinked, his mind slowly piecing together the hazy, emotionally charged events of the previous night. After she had run from the park, Noel, driven by a mixture of desperation and a refusal to let things end so chaotically, had followed her back to the flower shop. The inbulaklakang Ligaya sign was unlit, the door locked. He had knocked, softly at first, then a little more urgently. Ligaya, please. Kausapin mo ako. For a long time, there was no answer. He was about to give up, a cold dread settling in his stomach, when the door cracked open a sliver. Ligaya stood there, her eyes red-rimmed, her hair disheveled. She looked broken. Without a word, she let him in. The shop was dark, only the faint moonlight filtering through the glass panes offering any illumination. The air was thick with the scent of wilting flowers and unspoken turmoil. What followed was a blur of raw emotion. Tears, accusations, mostly from her, directed at herself, desperate pleas, from him, for her to just talk, and then touches. Hesitant at first, then less so, she hand on an arm, a thumb wiping away a tear, hug that lingered too long. One thing led to another, fueled the weeks of suppressed attraction, the intoxicating mix of longing and despair. They ended up in her small apartment above the shop. It was as simple and as full of quiet character as she was, shelves overflowing with books, small potted plants on the windowsill, a worn but comfortable-looking armchair draped with a knitted shawl. And then, her bed. Now, in the pale morning light seeping through the thin curtains, Noel lay there, watching Ligaya sleep. Her face, in repose, looked younger, more peaceful than had ever seen it. Her dark hair fanned out on the pillow beside him. He felt a surge of tenderness so profound it almost hurt. He reached out, gently tucking a stray strand of hair behind her ear. Her skin was soft, warm. He shouldn't be here. A voice in his head, the same one that had been screaming warnings at him for weeks, was now practically apoplectic. This is wrong. She's older. You barely know her. May tinatago siya, Noel, nararamdaman mo iyon. Pero yung puso niya, yung bawat hibla ng katawan niya, sumisigaw ng ibang bagay. Gusto ko siya. Gusto ko, too. Carefully, so as not to wake her, Noel slipped out of bed. He found his clothes scattered on the floor, a testament to the urgency and abandon of the previous night. As he dressed, he couldn't help but glance back at Ligaya. A wave of possessiveness, sharp and unexpected, washed over him. Akin siya. Then, immediately followed a pang of guilt. Hindi. Hindi siya pwedeng maging iyon ng ganito. He found his way to the teeny kitchen, a space barely big enough for one person. He opened the small refrigerator, hoping to find something to cook for breakfast. Eggs, some leftover rice, a slightly wilted tomato. Pwede na to. He started to cook, the simple, domestic act feeling strangely intimate in this new, undefined space they now shared. The smell of garlic frying soon filled the small apartment. Ligaya stared just as he was plating the sinangag and scrambled eggs. She sat up, clutching the sheet to her chest, her eyes slowly focusing on him. For a moment, there was confusion, then recognition, followed by a wave of something that looked like regret. Noel, her voice was husky with sleep. Good morning, he said, trying for a cheerful tone, though his stomach was churning with a mix of nerves and anticipation. Nagluto ako ng breakfast. She didn't say anything, just watched him as he brought a small tray with 2 plates and 2 cups of instant coffee, the only kind he could find, to the side of the bed. He sat on the edge, careful not to get too close, too soon. They ate in silence for a while. The air was thick with unspoken words, with the weight of what had happened. Noel kept stealing glances at her. She looked beautiful, even with her sleep-mussed hair and without trace of makeup, but there was a fragility about her this morning, vulnerability that hadn't been there before, or perhaps, one he hadn't allowed himself to see. Ligaya, he finally said, putting his fork down. About last night, see. She flinched, her eyes clouding over. Wag na nating pag-usapan, Noel. Please. Pero kailangan, he insisted gently. Kailangan nating malaman kung ano to, kung ano tayo. Ligaya looked down at her plate, pushing her food around with her fork. Walang tayo, Noel, she said, her voice barely a whisper. Isang pagkakamali lang yung kagabi. A moment of weakness. Hindi na dapat maulit. Pagkakamali. Noel felt a stab of pain. Ganon lang ba yun para sa'yo? He tried to keep the hurt out of his voice, but failed. Kasi sa akin, Ligaya, hindi. It felt real. She finally looked up at him, her eyes filled with desperate plea. Noel, hindi mo naiintindihan. This is dangerous. Para sa ting dalawa. Dangerous? Paanong dangerous? Noel's frustration was starting to build. Dahil mas matanda ka sa akin. Is that it? Paulit-ulit na lang ba yan, Ligaya? Ilang beses ko bang sasabihin sa'yo na wala akong pakialam doon? Hindi lang yun. Her voice rose, laced with an emotion he couldn't quite place. Fear. Anguish. May mga bagay ka na hindi alam. Mga bagay na masisira lang ang lahat kapag nalaman mo. Then tell me, he exclaimed, his patience wearing thin. Ano ba yung mga sikretong iyan na mas mahalaga pa kaysa sa nararamdaman natin? Ligaya stood up abruptly, wrapping the sheet tighter around herself. She walked towards the window, her back to him. Hindi ko kaya, Noel. Hindi ko kayang sabihin. So, ano? Ganito na lang. Noel stood up too, his fists clenching. Magpapanggap tayong walang nangyari. Babalik tayo sa dati. Mas mabuti na siguro iyon, she whispered, her shoulders slumped. No. Noel's voice was firm. He walked towards her, stopping just behind her. He could smell the faint scent of her skin, the mix of sleep and sampagita. Ayoko, Ligaya. Hindi ako papayag. He reached out, gently turning her around to face him. Her eyes were glistening with unshed tears. Alam kong may nararamdaman ka rin para sakin. Nakita ko yun kagabi. Naramdaman ko. He cupped her face in his hands, his thumbs gently stroking her cheeks. Kung ano man yang kinatatakutan mo, Ligaya, harapin natin ng magkasama. Please. Just trust me. Her resolve seemed to crumble. Tear escaped and traced path down her cheek. She leaned into his touch, her eyes closing. Natatakot ako, Noel, she confessed, her voice trembling. Natatakot akong masaktan ka. At masaktan ulit. Hindi kita sasaktan, he vowed, his voice thick with emotion. He leaned down and kissed her, softly at first, then with growing intensity. It was a kiss of reassurance, of promise, of desperate need to erase her fears. She responded, her arms going around his neck, pulling him closer. The lust from the night before was still there, a potent undercurrent, but now it was mingled with something deeper, something more tender, more desperate. The relationship, if it could even be called that, continued in this vein for the next few weeks, secret, intoxicating dance between intense passion and gnawing anxiety. They would spend nights together in her small apartment, lost in each other, the world outside ceasing to exist. During the day, Noel would help her in the shop, their interactions, careful balance of stolen glances, hushed conversations, and touches that lingered a little too long. To the outside world, he was just a helpful young student, and she, the quiet flower shop owner. But in the privacy of her small world, they were something else entirely. Something forbidden, something fragile, something intensely real. Pero yung takot ni Ligaya, laging nandoon parang anino. She would often pull away after a moment of intense intimacy, her eyes clouded with guilt and fear. She still refused to talk about her past, about the dangerous things she alluded to, and Noel, caught between his desire for her and his fear of pushing her away, didn't press too hard. He hoped, foolishly perhaps, that love and time would eventually break down her walls. Then came the incident with another man. It was a busy Saturday afternoon at the shop. Noel was arranging a delivery of sunflowers when a well-dressed man, probably in his late 40s or early 50s, walked in. He was carrying an expensive-looking briefcase, and he exuded an air of quiet authority. Ligaya, Hija, the man said, his voice warm and familiar. Ligaya, who was at the counter talking to a customer, looked up. Her face went pale. Noel had never seen her look so flustered. Tito. Tito Andres, she stammered, her usual composure gone. Anong ginagawa niyo dito? Dumaan lang ako, the man said, smiling. Kamusta ka na? Matagal na tayong hindi nagkita. He walked towards her, his eyes scanning the shop, lingering for a moment on Noel before returning to Ligaya. There was something in his gaze, something proprietary, that made Noel's hackles rise. Ligaya forced a smile. Okay lang po ako, Tito. Medyo busy lang. She gestured vaguely at Noel. Si Noel po pala. Tumutulong dito sa shop. Tito Andres nodded curtly at Noel, a dismissive glance that made Noel's blood boil. He then turned back to Ligaya, lowering his voice, but Noel could still hear snippets of their conversation. Something about responsibilidad, pinag-usapan natin, and panahon na siguro. Noel tried to busy himself with the sunflowers, but his ears were pricked, his jaw tight. He watched as Ligaya listened, her face growing increasingly distressed. She kept glancing at Noel, a worried, almost apologetic look in her eyes. The man stayed for almost half an hour, his conversation with Ligaya hushed and intense. When he finally left, patting Ligaya's arm in a way that Noel found overly familiar, Ligaya looked drained. Sino iyon? Noel asked, trying to keep his voice even, as soon as the door closed behind Tito Andres. Ligaya sighed, running a hand through her hair. Wala yun, Noel. Isang family friend. Family friend? Noel's voice was laced with skepticism. Parang hindi lang family friend yung usapan nyo, ah. Ano yung responsibilidad na sinasabi niya? Ano yung panahon na? Noel, please, Ligaya said, her voice wary. Huwag na ngayon. Pagod ako. Pagod ka o ayaw mo lang sabihin sakin? Noel couldn't stop the jealousy, hot and ugly, that surged through him. Siya ba? Siya ba yung isa sa mga dahilan kung bakit hindi pwede to? Ligaya flinched as if he'd slapped her. Hindi mo naiintindihan. Then make me understand, Ligaya. Noel shouted, his control finally snapping. Pagod na akong manghula. Pagod na akong maramdamang may tinatago ka sakin. Kung may iba, sabihin mo na. Walang iba. Ligaya cried out, her eyes flashing with anger and hurt. Wala kang alam sa mga pinagdadaanan ko, Noel. Masyado kang bata para maintindihan. Bata. Noel scoffed, the word hitting him like physical blow. Lagi na lang yan ang sinasabi mo. Palusot mo ba yan para itulak ako palayo? Kasi natatakot ka? O dahil may iba ka talagang tinataguan? He didn't wait for her answer. Blinded by jealousy and a sense of betrayal, he turned and stormed out of the shop, slamming the door behind him. He walked aimlessly, the city lights blurring through his angry tears. Sino yung lalaking yun? Ano ang hindi sinasabi sa akin ni Ligaya? The questions tormented him. He felt like a fool, naive kid who had fallen for someone who was clearly playing games with him. He ended up at the beach, the same spot where Miguel usually hung out. The sound of the waves, usually calming, did nothing to soothe his frayed nerves. He stayed there for hours, the anger slowly giving way to a cold, hollow ache in his chest. It was well past midnight when he finally dragged himself back to the flower shop. He didn't know why he came back. Pride told him to stay away to forget her. But his heart, that stupid, stubborn organ, pulled him back. The shop was dark. He hesitated, then slowly pushed the door. It was unlocked. Ligaya was sitting on the rattan stool, the one where he usually sat, her head bowed, her shoulders shaking. She was crying, soft, heartbroken sobs that tore through Noel. He walked towards her slowly. Ligaya? She looked up, her face tear-streaked, her eyes red and swollen. When she saw him, a fresh wave of sobs racked her body. Without a word, Noel knelt in front of her and pulled her into his arms. She clung to him, burying her face in his chest, her tears soaking his shirt. He held her tight, stroking her hair, whispering incoherent words of comfort. Sorry, she choked out between sobs. Sorry, Noel. Patawarin mo ako. Natatakot lang ako. Sobrang natatakot, T. He held her until her sobs subsided, until her breathing evened out, until the first rays of dawn began to paint the egg outside the shop window. The anger and jealousy were gone, replaced by a deep, aching tenderness and a renewed sense of fear. He still didn't know who Tito Andres was, or what secrets Ligaya was so desperately trying to protect. But as he held her trembling body in his arms, one thing became terrifyingly clear: he was in too deep. This wasn't just lust or infatuation anymore. This was something much more dangerous. Something that felt terrifyingly like love. And he knew, with chilling certainty, that whatever secrets Ligaya was keeping, they had the power to destroy everything. The fragile peace Noel and Ligaya found after their explosive fight and tearful reunion was short-lived. The shadow of Tito Andres and Ligaya's unspoken secrets loomed large over them, an invisible wall that Noel couldn't seem to break through, no matter how much he loved her, no matter how much she seemed to love him back in her own guarded way. Ligaya became even more withdrawn, more prone to sudden bouts of sadness. Their nights together were still passionate, desperate clinging to each other, but the mornings were often filled with a heavy silence, with Ligaya staring out the window, lost in thoughts she wouldn't share. Noel tried to be patient, to be understanding, but the not knowing, the constant feeling that he was on the outside of a crucial part of her life, was eating away at him. A couple of weeks later, Noel got a call from his mother. It was her birthday, and she was requesting, which, in his mother's language, meant demanding his presence at their home in Manila for a small family dinner. Noel, despite his complicated relationship with his mom, couldn't refuse. Besides, a small part of him thought a little distance from Isla de Clara, from the intense, suffocating bubble of his relationship with Ligaya, might do him some good. Maybe it would give him some perspective. Aalis ka? Ligaya asked, her voice carefully neutral, when Noel told her. They were in her small kitchen, Noel attempting to cook adobo from a recipe he found online, Ligaya quietly watching him. Birthday ni Mama, Noel explained, stirring the pot. Isang gabi lang naman. Babalik din ako agad. He looked at her, trying to gauge her reaction. Her expression was unreadable. Sage, she said softly, turning away to wash some vegetables. Ingat ka. That was it. Note, mamimiss kita. Note, bilisan mong bumalik. Just. Ingat ka. Noel felt a familiar pang of frustration, but he pushed it down. Babalik din ako. Mag-uusap kami. Aayusin namin to. The family dinner was as strained and superficial as Noel expected. His mother, successful businesswoman who always seemed to have her priorities elsewhere, asked few perfunctory questions about his Sembrick vacation, offered some unsolicited advice about his studies, and then spent most of the evening on her phone, attending to urgent business matters. His father, the quiet, henpecked man, mostly just nodded and smiled. Noel felt a familiar itch of loneliness, feeling he thought he had left behind in Isla de Clara, in Ligaya's arms. Later that evening, after the guests, mostly his mother's business associates, had left, Noel found himself wandering aimlessly around their large, empty-feeling house. He ended up in his mother's study, a room he rarely entered. It was meticulously organized, almost sterile, just like her office. He was about to leave when his eyes landed on an old, leather-bound photo album tucked away on a lower shelf, almost hidden behind a stack of financial reports. Curiosity got the better of him. He pulled it out. It was heavy, the leather worn and cracked with age. He hadn't seen this album before. He sat on the floor and opened it. The first few pages were filled with black and white photos of his mother when she was younger, much younger than he had ever known her. She was beautiful, with a vibrant, almost rebellious spark in her eyes that was now long gone. There were photos of her with friends, photos of her traveling. Then, he turned the page and his breath hitched. It was a photo of his mother, radiant and smiling, standing beside a man. A Japanese man, with kind eyes and a gentle smile. They were holding hands. In his mother's other arm, she was cradling a baby girl, wrapped in a white blanket. The baby had a tuft of dark hair and wide, curious eyes. Noel stared at the photo, his heart pounding. Who was this man? And who was this baby? This was before his father. He was sure of it. He flipped through the next few pages. More photos of the Japanese man, his mother, and the baby girl. They looked happy. Genuinely happy. There were photos of them in what looked like a small, simple house, photos of them by the sea, the baby girl growing into a toddler, laughing, playing. In one photo, the little girl, now maybe around 3 or 4 years old, was holding a single, perfect sampaguita flower. Cold dread started to creep up Noel's spine. He didn't understand what he was seeing, but terrible, unformed suspicion began to take root in his mind. Just then, his mother walked into the study. Noel, anong ginagawa mo dito? Her voice was sharp. She saw the album in his hands, and her face paled. Saan mo nakuha yan? Sino sila, ma? Noel asked, his voice hoarse, holding up the photo of her with the Japanese man and the baby. Sino yung lalaking to? At sino yung batang to? His mother looked away, her composure crumbling. She sank into her expensive leather chair, her hands trembling. Itago mo na yan, Noel. Mga lumang litrato lang yan. Walang kwenta. Walang kwenta. Noel's voice rose. Ma, may anak ka bago si Papa? May kapatid ako. His mother didn't answer for a long time. The silence in the room was deafening, broken only by her ragged breathing. Finally, she looked at him, her eyes filled with pain so deep it startled him. He had never seen his mother look so vulnerable. She whispered, her voice barely audible. Nagkaroon ako ng anak. Bago ang papa mo. Noel felt like the floor had dropped out from under him. Ano nang nangyari? Nasaan siya? Nasaan sila? His mother took shaky breath. Ang ama niya si Kenji. Hapon siya. Nagkakilala kami noong nagtatrabaho pa ako sa isang export company. Nagmahalan kami. Her voice broke. Pero hindi kami pwedeng magsama. Tutol ang pamilya niya. Tutol din ang pamilya ko. Iba ang panahon noon, Noel. She paused, gathering herself. Nabuntis ako. Itinago namin. Nang nalaman ng pamilya ko, pinalayo nila ako. Pinapili nila ako. Her eyes welled up with tears. Pinapili nila ako sa pagitan ng pamilya ko at ni Kenji. Anong pinili mo, Ma? Noel asked, his voice trembling. Pinili ko ang pamilya ko, she said, the words laced with a lifetime of regret. Bumalik si Kenji sa Japan. Hindi na kami nagkita. Ang anak namin ipinaampon ko siya. Ipinaampon? Noel felt a fresh wave of shock. Bakit, Ma? Bakit mo ginawa iyon? Dahil bata pa ako noon, Noel, his mother cried, the carefully constructed walls around her finally collapsing. Natakot ako. Hindi ko alam ang gagawin ko. Sabi nila, yun ang pinakamabuti para sa kanya. Para magkaroon siya ng buong pamilya, ng magandang kinabukasan. Sabi nila di. She trailed off, sobbing. Noel stared at her, his mind reeling. A sister. He had a sister he never knew existed. A sister his mother had given away. Anong pangalan niya, Ma? He managed to ask, his throat tight. Anong pangalan ng kapatid ko? His mother looked at him, her eyes pleading for understanding, for forgiveness. Ligaya, she whispered. Ang pangalan niya. Ligaya. The world stopped. Noel felt the blood drain from his face. His ears were ringing. Ligaya? No, it couldn't be. It was impossible. A cruel, twisted coincidence. It had to be. But then, a flashback, sharp and vivid, hit him. Ligaya, in her shop, her eyes sad as she talked about her family being malayo. Ligaya, under the sampagita tree, her voice trembling as she spoke of tinik na nakakasakit. Ligaya, her fear, her secrets, her constant refrain of hindi pwede i-end, masyado kang bata para maintindihan. And the sampagita. The flower the little girl in the photo was holding. The flower that always scented Ligaya's shop, her apartment, her skin. He looked down at the album again, his hands shaking uncontrollably. He flipped to a photo of the little girl, a close-up of her face. Her eyes, they were Ligaya's eyes. Dark, deep-set, holding a universe of unspoken stories. The air in the room suddenly felt too thick to breathe. He felt sick. Nauseous. Noel. Anak, anong nangyayari sa'yo? His mother's voice sounded distant, warped. He couldn't speak. He couldn't think. He scrambled to his feet, the album falling from his lap, the photos scattering on the floor. He had to get out of there. He had to get away. He stumbled out of the study, out of the house, ignoring his mother's frantic calls. He ran. He ran blindly, aimlessly, through the dark Manila streets, the name Ligaya echoing in his mind like a death knell. Ligaya. His Ligaya. The woman he loved. The woman he had made love to. His sister. The realization hit him with the force of a physical blow, knocking the air out of his lungs, leaving him gasping, broken, on the side of a deserted road, the city lights blurring into a meaningless, painful swirl. The journey back to Isla de Clara was a blur of numb disbelief and agonizing clarity. Noel felt like he was moving through a nightmare, each passing kilometer bringing him closer to a confrontation he both craved and dreaded. The name Ligaya reverberated in his skull, no longer a sound of sweetness and longing, but a sickening echo of a truth too horrifying to comprehend. His sister. Ang babaeng mahal niya, ang babaeng yakap niya, ang babaeng kapatid niya. He arrived at the Ibulaklakang Ligaya, just as dawn was breaking. The shop was still closed, the windows dark. He stood outside, the cool morning air doing nothing to quell the raging fever in his soul. He clutched the old photograph he had taken from the album, the one of Ligaya as a little girl, holding a sampagita, standing beside their mother and Kenji. His only proof. His damnation. He didn't knock. He couldn't. He just waited, leaning against the wall, the weight of the impending revelation crushing him. An hour later, he heard stirring from inside. The small light in Ligaya's apartment window flickered on then, the sound of footsteps descending the wooden stairs. Noel's heart hammered against his ribs, a frantic drumbeat of dread. The door creaked open, and Ligaya stepped out, soft shawl wrapped around her shoulders against the morning chill. She was about to sweep the front step when she saw him. She froze. Her eyes, usually so expressive, widened in surprise, then confusion, then a dawning unease as she took in his disheveled appearance, the raw anguish etched on his face. "Noel," she said, her voice hesitant. Anong ginagawa mo dito? Akala ko nasa Maynila ka pa?" She took a step towards him, concern replacing the initial shock. "May nangyari ba? Okay ka lang?" Noel couldn't speak. He just stared at her, his gaze intense, searching. He saw the woman he loved, the curve of her lips he had kissed countless times, the way her hair fell softly around her face. But now, superimposed over that image, was the face of the little girl in the photograph, the ghost of shared bloodline. "Noel, tinatakot mo ako," Ligaya said, her voice trembling slightly as she took another step closer. "Ano bang problema?" He finally found his voice, a harsh, rasping sound that didn't feel like his own. "Kailangan nating mag-usap, Ligaya." She frowned, sensing the gravity in his tone. "Tungkol saan?" Instead of answering, Noel slowly, deliberately, held up the photograph. Ligaya's eyes focused on the faded image in his trembling hand. For a long moment, she just stared, her expression unreadable. Then, slowly, recognition dawned. Her breath hitched. Her face, already pale, lost all color. She swayed slightly, and Noel instinctively reached out to steady her, but she flinched away from his touch as if he had burned her. "Saan mo nakuha yan?" she whispered, her voice barely audible, her eyes still fixed on the photograph, then darting up to Noel's face, filled with a dawning horror that mirrored his own. "Sa bahay." "Sa album ni Mama," Noel said, his voice flat, devoid of emotion. He felt hollowed out, a shell of the man he was just a day ago. The silence that followed was deafening, thick with unspeakable truths. The early morning sounds of Isla de Clara, the distant crowing of a rooster, the rumble of the first jeepney, faded into insignificance. There was only the two of them, standing on the precipice of a devastating revelation. Ligaya's eyes, wide and terrified, darted between the photograph and Noel's anguished face. She opened her mouth to speak, but no words came out. Her whole body was trembling. "Kilala mo ba sila?" Noel pressed, his voice cracking, though he already knew the answer. He needed to hear it from her. He needed the final, fatal blow. Ligaya's gaze dropped to the ground. A single tear escaped and traced path down her ashen cheek. She nodded, a small, almost imperceptible movement. Si Kenji tatay ko," she choked out, the words torn from her. "At yung babae. Yung babaeng nagbigay sa akin ng pangalan ko pero hindi ko nakilalang ina." Noel felt the last vestiges of hope, of denial, shatter within him. It was true. Everything his mother had said. Everything the photograph implied. "Ang nanay ko," Noel said, the words like stones in his mouth. "Ang nanay ko ang babae sa litratong iyan, Ligaya. Ang nanay natin." Ligaya's head snapped up, her eyes wide with a mixture of disbelief and dawning, horrific comprehension. "Ano? Kapatid kita, Ligaya," Noel stated, the words brutal, final. "Magkapatid tayo sa ina." The world seemed to tilt on its axis. Ligaya stumbled back, her hand flying to her mouth, a strangled sob escaping her lips. Hindi maaari di." She whispered, shaking her head frantically. "Nagkakamali ka, Noel." Hindi ako nagkakamali," Noel said, his voice breaking. He felt a bitter, hysterical love bubbling up inside him. Of all the people in the world. "Sinabi sa akin lahat ni Mama kagabi." Ikaw. Ikaw yung anak na ipinaampun niya. Ligaya stared at him, her face a mask of pure, unadulterated horror. The pieces were clicking into place, a grotesque, twisted puzzle. Her fragmented memories of a kind Japanese man, the vague stories she'd heard from her adoptive parents about young mother who couldn't keep her, the constant, gnawing feeling of displacement, of not quite belonging. And Noel. Noel, who looked so much like the faded photographs of her biological mother she had secretly kept. Oh, Diyos ko di. She breathed, her legs giving way. She sank to her knees on the cold pavement, her body racked with violent, silent sobs. The photograph slipped from Noel's numb fingers and fluttered to the ground between them. Noel watched her, his own heart shattering into a million pieces. There was no anger left in him, only a vast, empty ache. He wanted to reach out to her, to comfort her, but how could he? What comfort could he offer when they were both drowning in the same poisoned truth? No one tried to butcher, to make excuses. The truth was too stark, too absolute. There were no words that could lessen the enormity of what they had done, of what they had been to each other. After what felt like an eternity, Ligaya slowly, painfully, got to her feet. Her face was tear-streaked, her eyes hollow. She looked at Noel, to profound, soul-deep sorrow in her gaze. Noel, she began, her voice raspy, broken. Kung alam ko lang eh. She couldn't finish the sentence. The what-ifs, the if-onlys, were too numerous, too painful to articulate. Kung alam ko lang na ikaw yung kapatid na matagal ko nang hinahanap sa mga panaginip ko. Kung alam ko lang na ang pagmamahal na naramdaman ko para sa iyo ay bawal, ay kasalanan. Hindi natin alam, Noel said, his voice equally hoarse. Paano natin malalaman? He felt a surge of bitterness towards his mother, towards a fate that had played such cruel, twisted joke on them. Ligaya picked up the fallen photograph, her fingers trembling as she traced the image of the smiling baby girl, herself. Then, she looked at Noel, her eyes filled with an unbearable mix of love, anguish, and a heartbreaking resignation. Tapos na, Noel, she whispered. Tapos na ang lahat. The finality in her voice was like a knife to Noel's heart. He knew she was right. There was no going back. There was no way to undo what had been done. Their love, so intense, so passionate, had been built on a lie, secret that had now come to light, destroying everything in its path. He watched as Ligaya turned and walked back into the flower shop, her movements slow, heavy, like an old woman. She didn't look back. Noel stood there, rooted to the spot, as the sun rose higher, casting its indifferent light on the bulaklakang Ligaya. He felt empty. Utterly, devastatingly empty. A few minutes later, he heard a sound from inside the shop. Click. The sound of a lock turning. Then, the heavy thud of the closed sign being placed in the window. Ligaya was closing her shop. But Noel knew, with chilling certainty, that it wasn't just the shop she was closing. She was closing a chapter of her life. She was closing the door on him. Perhaps forever. He turned and walked away, each step an agony. The vibrant colors of Isla de Clara seemed muted, the cheerful sounds of the morning jarring. He didn't know where he was going. He just knew he couldn't stay. The scent of sampaguita, once a fragrance of longing and desire, now smelled like ashes in his memory. Months blurred into a monotonous cycle of grief and hollow existence for Noel. Pagkatapos ng gabing iyon, ng pag-uusap nila ni Ligaya na parang pumunit sa kaluluwa nilang dalawa, hindi na siya bumalik sa flower shop. Hindi na rin niya sinubukang tawagan o hanapin pa ito. Ano pa ang sasabihin niya? Ano pa ang magagawa nila? The truth had been a brutal, unyielding wall between them. He left Isla de Clara the next day, carrying a weight in his chest that felt heavier than any luggage. Ibinalik niya ang sarili sa Maynila, sa kurso niyang Aki, na lalo lang niyang kinasuklaman, sa bahay nila na parang mas lalong lumamig at naging estranghero. He tried to lose himself in studies, in late-night coding sessions, in anything that could numb the constant ache, the haunting images of Ligaya's face, her laughter, her tears, her look of utter devastation when the truth came out. Hindi niya sinabi sa ina niya ang buong katotohanan tungkol sa kanila ni Ligaya. How could he? Paano niya sasabihin na ang anak na matagal itong itinago at pinagsisihan ay ang babaeng minahal niya nang higit pa sa sarili niya, sa paraang hindi dapat? He just told her he found Ligaya, that they talked, and that Ligaya wanted to be left alone. His mother, perhaps sensing the deep, unspoken pain in him, didn't press further. She just looked older, sadder. Pero ang Isla de Clara at si Ligaya ay hindi siya tinantanan. They were in his dreams, in his waking thoughts, in the scent of a passing Sampaguita vendor that would make his heart clench with an almost physical pain. Almost a year had passed. One particularly bleak afternoon, staring blankly at his computer screen, Noel made a decision. He needed to go back. Hindi para guluhin si Ligaya o para umasa pa ng kahit ano. He needed to go back for himself. To find some kind of closure, some way to breathe again without her ghost haunting his every breath. Kailangan niyang harapin ang isla kung saan niya natagpuan at nawala ang isang pag-ibig na hindi niya malilimutan. He took a bus, the familiar journey now tinged with a heavy sense of melancholy. Pagdating niya sa Isla de Clara, parang wala namang nagbago. The sun was still bright, the sea still sparkled, the air still carried the scent of salt and flowers. Pero para kay Noel, iba na ang lahat. The island felt emptier. His feet, almost on autopilot, led him to the esquinita. And there it was. Ang pwesto ng Ibulaklakang Ligaya. Pero hindi na Ibulaklakang Ligaya ang nakasulat sa singboard. It was now Clara's Blooms, painted in bright, cheerful colors that felt jarringly out of place. The shop itself looked different, more generic, less Ligaya. Wala na yung mga lumang paso, yung mga kakaibang halaman sa bintana, yung wind chime na tumutunog sa tuwing bubukas ang pinto. Noel stood there, his heart sinking. Sang-ayon. Pinaupahan na. Ibinenta na. Wala na si Ligaya. He pushed the door open. A young woman he didn't recognize looked up from behind a modern, minimalist counter. Good morning, sir. Welcome to Clara's Blooms, she chirped, her smile bright and impersonal. Naghahanap lang, Noel managed to say, his voice sounding distant even to his own ears. He walked around the small shop, his eyes searching for any trace of Ligaya, any lingering scent of her presence. Wala. It was as if she had been completely erased. Parang eksena sa isang pelikula ang mga alaala na bumalik sa kanya. Si Ligaya, nakatayo sa tabi ng bintana, dinidiligan ang indigo flower na hindi nito binebenta. Siya, nakaupo sa rattan stool, pinagmamasdan itong gumawa ng baukwet. Ang kanilang mga kamay na nagkakadikit, ang mga ngiti, ang mga lihim na tingin. Ang mga halik. Ang sakit. May hinahanap po ba kayong specific na bulaklak, sir? Tanong ulit ng tindera. Medyo nagtataka na siguro sa pag-ikot niya. Yung dating may-ari nito, sabi ni Noel, his throat tight. Si Ate Ligaya. Alam niyo po ba kung nasaan na siya? The young woman frowned slightly. Si Ate Ligaya po ba? Matagal na po siyang umalis dito, sir. Bago pa po kami nag-take over ng shop. Sabi po ng may-ari ng pwesto, lumipat na daw po siya. Malayo daw po. Malayo. The word echoed in Noel's mind. Of course. She would want to go far away. Far away from this island, far away from him, far away from the memories that were too painful to bear. Just as Noel was about to turn and leave, his heart heavy with a sense of finality, a small voice piped up from the corner of the shop. Kilala ko po si Ate Ligaya. Noel turned. A little girl, maybe around 7 or 8 years old, was sitting on the floor, stringing Sampaguita flowers into a. She had bright, curious eyes and a smudge of dirt on her cheek. Talaga? Noel asked, a flicker of something, hope, staring within him. The little girl nodded vigorously. Opo. Lagi po akong dinadalhan ni Ate Ligaya ng tinapay galing sa panaderya. Tapos tinuturuan niya po akong mag-ayos ng bulaklak. Alam mo ba kung saan siya nagpunta? Noel asked gently, kneeling down to her level. The little girl tilted her head, thinking. Sabi po niya, pupunta daw po siya sa lugar na maraming puno ng sampagita. Kasi daw po, yun yung paborito niyang amoy. She paused, then her eyes lit up. Ay! May pinaiwan nga po pala siya. Scrambling to her feet, the little girl ran to a dusty shelf behind the counter and pulled out an old, worn notebook. It was the kind of notebook florists used to sketch out arrangements or jot down orders. Noel recognized Ligaya's neat, elegant handwriting on the cover, though it was faded now. Sabi po ni Ate Ligaya, kung may maghahanap daw po sa kanya na nalalaking malungkot ang mata, the little girl said, looking at Noel with an unnerving perceptiveness, ibigay ko daw po to. Noel's hand trembled as he took the notebook. He opened it. Most of the pages were filled with sketches of flowers, notes on prices, names of suppliers. Then, towards the end, tucked between the last two pages, was a pressed flower. An indigo flower. The same kind that Ligaya kept in her shop, the one she said was not for sale. And underneath it, in Ligaya's familiar script, was a single sentence. Sana, sa ibang buhay, sa ibang pagkakataon, pwede na. Noel closed his eyes, a wave of emotion washing over him, sadness, regret, but also, strangely, sense of peace. It wasn't a goodbye. It was an acknowledgement. A shared dream of a different reality. He looked at the little girl, who was watching him with wide, innocent eyes. Salamat, he said, his voice thick. Salamat sayo. He needed to leave something for her too. He took out a pen and a blank page from his own small notebook. He thought for a moment, then wrote. Ligaya, kung nasaan ka man, sana masaya ka. Sana nahahanap mo yung mga puno ng sampagita mo. Hindi kita malilimutan. Hinding-hindi. He didn't sign his name. He didn't need to. He carefully folded the note and asked the little girl, pwede bang itago mo to? Dito sa notebook na to. Para kung sakaling bumalik siya. The little girl nodded solemnly. Opo, sir. Itatago ko po. Noel stood up. He looked around the shop one last time, committing the faded ghost of Ligaya's presence to memory. Then, he turned and walked out, leaving Clara's blooms behind. As he stepped out into the sunlight, he felt lighter. The crushing weight on his chest hadn't completely disappeared, but it was no longer suffocating. There was no grand resolution, no dramatic reunion. Just a quiet acceptance, bittersweet understanding. He smiled, a small, faint smile. Ligaya was out there, somewhere, perhaps finding her own peace among her sampagita trees. And he would continue to live, to carry her memory not as a burden, but as a precious, poignant reminder of a love that was beautiful and tragic, a love that had changed him forever. Ang huling buntong hininga ng isla ay hindi na kasing sakit ng dati. May lungkot, pero may kasama na ring pag-asa. Isang tahimik na pag-asa. Years. Maraming taon na ang lumipas. Ang dating gusgusing estudyante na si Noel ay isa ng respetadong propesor sa isang kilalang unibersidad sa Maynila. Professor Noel Palma, then ay hindi na eki ang tinuturo niya. Natagpuan niya ang tunay niyang hilig sa pagsusulat at panitikan, at ngayon, nagtuturo siya ng creative writing at ethics in literature. Ironic, he sometimes thought, considering the ethical quagmire of his own past. His office was filled with books, not flowers. But sometimes, when a student gifted him with a small bouquet, or when the scent of sampagita wafted in from an open window, a familiar ache, now dull but persistent, would throb in his chest. Today, he was in a lecture hall, the late afternoon sun streaming through the tall windows, illuminating dust motes dancing in the air. His students, a mix of eager young faces and a few older, more world-weary ones, were listening intently. He was discussing the theme of forbidden love in contemporary Filipino narratives. And so, we see how these stories, these narratives of love that defy societal norms, or even what we perceive as natural law, often serve as a mirror, Professor Noel was saying, his voice calm, measured. They reflect our deepest fears, our most profound longings, and the often painful complexities of human connection. Hindi laging masaya ang wakas. Madalas, mapait. Madalas, tahimik. He paused, his gaze drifting towards the window, where a sudden downpour had started, the rain lashing against the glass, reminiscent of another storm, long ago, on a distant island. Let me share with you a short, unpublished story, he continued, turning back to his students. A work of fiction, of course. Something I wrote a long time ago, during a formative period in my life. The classroom was quiet, all eyes on him. They knew this was a rare occurrence. Professor Palma rarely shared his own creative work. He began to tell a story about a young man, lost and adrift, who stumbles into a small flower shop on a stormy night. About a mysterious, older woman named Li Weiwei, the shop owner, who offered him shelter and later, her heart. He spoke of stolen moments, of a love that blossomed in secret, fragrant and intoxicating like the sampaguita flowers that filled her shop. He described their illicit joy, their gnawing fears, the age gap that seemed insignificant compared to the depth of their connection. He didn't spare the painful details, the societal judgment they anticipated, the internal conflicts, Li Weiwei's deep-seated sadness and the secrets she held close. He painted the vivid picture of their intense, consuming passion, and the quiet despair that always lurked beneath the surface. Then, he narrated the twist. The devastating revelation. That Li Weiwei was not just any woman. That she was, unknowingly, the young man's half-sister, lost to adoption years ago. A collective gasp went through the classroom. Some students shifted uncomfortably in their seats. The air grew thick with a stunned silence. Noel continued, his voice steady, though if one listened closely, they could hear the faint tremor of an old, deep-seated pain. He described the shattering of their world, the unbearable weight of their unwitting transgression. He spoke of their heartbreaking separation, of Li Weiwei disappearing, leaving behind only a pressed, rare, dark blue flower, a bulaklak na hindi para sa lahat, and a cryptic note about different life, different chance. He didn't romanticize the pain. He didn't offer easy answers or absolution. He just told their story, raw and unflinching. When he finished, the silence in the room was profound. The only sound was the drumming of the rain outside. His students looked at him, their faces a mixture of shock, sadness, and dawning understanding. Finally, a young woman in the front row, one of his brightest students, raised her hand tentatively. Sir, she began, her voice soft, that story it felt so real. Grabe yung sakit. Yung Li Weiwei po at yung lalaki. Nagkita pa po ba sila ulit? Noel looked at her, a faint, melancholic smile touching his lips. He thought of the faded notebook, the pressed indigo flower, the note he left, the one she left. He thought of the years that had passed, the silence, the distance. Hindi na, he answered softly. Minsan, may mga kwentong hindi natatapos sa paraang gusto natin. Minsan, ang pag-ibig, kahit gaano pa katotoo, ay hindi sapat para malampasan ang lahat. Another student, a young man at the back, spoke up, his voice filled with a youthful idealism. Pero, sir, kung ganon po kalakas yung pagmamahalan nila, hindi po ba dapat may pag-asa? Pangarap niyo po ba siyang makita ulit? Si Li Weiwei. Noel's smile deepened, but it was tinged with an unreadable sadness. He looked out the window again, at the rain that was now starting to subside, leaving clean, washed scent in the air. He thought of Ligaya, somewhere out there, perhaps under her own sampaguita trees. He hoped she was happy. He truly did. Pangarap, he mused, more to himself than to his students. Lahat naman tayo may pangarap. Pero minsan, ang pinakamagandang magagawa mo para sa isang pangarap o para sa isang taong minahal mo ay ang bitawan ito. Hayaan mo siyang lumipad kahit malayo sa'yo. He turned back to his class, his gaze sweeping over their young, searching faces. Ang mahalaga, nagmahal ka. Ang mahalaga, may naiwan siyang baka sa puso mo. Isang alaala na hubog sa'yo, na magpapalago sa'yo, kahit gaano pa kapait ang pinagdaanan nyo. Sir, another student asked, her voice barely a-whisper, may mailigaya po ba sa dulo? Para sa kanila? Kahit hindi sila nagkatuluyan? Noel held her gaze. He thought of his own life, the quiet contentment he had found in his work, in the small joys of everyday existence. The sharp edges of his pain had softened over the years, replaced a gentle, bittersweet edge, a constant, quiet companion. He had learned to live with the ghosts of his past, not as tormentors, but as reminders of a love that, in its own tragic way, had been profoundly real, profoundly transformative. He smiled, the genuine, peaceful smile this time. It reached his eyes, crinkling the corners, making him look, for a moment, like the young man who had once sought shelter from the storm in a small flower shop. Iha, he said, his voice full of a quiet conviction. Laging may ligaya. Minsan, hindi lang ito yung ligayang inaasahan natin. Minsan, nasa pagtanggap. Nasa pagpapatawad sa sarili, sa iba, sa tadhana. At minsan ang ligaya ay nasa alaala na lang. He looked out the window one last time. The rain had stopped. A sliver of sun was breaking through the clouds. Kung sadyang para sa'yo, babalik yan, he added, almost as an afterthought, a whisper carried beside the wind. Pero kung hindi, matuto kang umiti at magpatuloy. He closed his notebook. The lecture was over. The screen fades to black. Mahal kong mga mambabasa. Una sa lahat, mula sa kaibuturan ng aking puso, maraming salamat po sa inyong pagsubaybay, sa bawat kabanatang inyong tinutukan, at sa paglalakbay ninyo kasama sina Noel at Ligaya hanggang sa huling hininga ng kanilang kwento. Ang inyong oras at emosyon na ibinuhos sa bawat salita ay isang regalong hindi matatawaran. Ang pagsulat ng istoryang ito ay isang emosyonal na roller coaster para sa akin. Kasabay ninyo, naramdaman ko ang bawat kilig sa mga unang tagpo, ang bigat ng mga lihim, ang init ng mga pagnanasa, ang pait ng mga pagdududa, at ang hindi maipaliwanag na sakit ng isang pag-ibig na bawal, ngunit totoo. May mga pagkakataong napapahinto ako sa pagsusulat, dinadama ang bigat ng kanilang mga pinagdaraanan, na para bang sila'y mga tunay na taong humihingi ng tinig sa pamamagitan ko. Sina Noel at Ligaya ay hindi lamang mga karakter sa papel, sila ay naging mga anino, mga bulong, mga pighatit saya na sumalamin sa maraming aspeto ng pagiging tao. Sa kwentong ito, nais kong iparating na ang pag-ibig ay isang misteryo, puno ng saya, ngiti, kilig, ngunit minsan, ito'y dumarating sa paraang hindi natin inaasahan, o sa pormang bawal at masakit. Hindi lahat ng pag-ibig ay nauwi sa happily ever after na ating inaasam, ngunit hindi ibig sabihin ito'y hindi na ito tunay o makabuluhan. Ang bawat ugnayan, gaano man kaikli o kakomplikado, ay may dalang aral. Ang pagtanggap sa katotohanan, gaano man ito kapait, ang pagpapatawad, lalo na sa ating mga sarili, at ang kakayahang magpatuloy dala ang mga alaala, ito ang mga hamon na humuhubog sa ating katatagan. Sana, sa paglalakbay ni Noel at Ligaya, may napulot kayong inspirasyon na harapin ang sarili ninyong mga bagyo sa buhay, na yakapin ang sarili ninyong mga ligaya, mga liwanag man o mga anino, at matutunang ang bawat karanasan. Masaya man o malungkot, ay may dahilan at may nayaambag sa kung sino tayo ngayon. Kung napukaw ng kwentong ito ang inyong damdamin, kung may bahagi ritong tumago sa inyong puso, huwag po kayong mag-atubiling ibahagi ito sa inyong mga kaibigan o mahal sa buhay. Nais ko ring marinig ang inyong mga saloobin, ang inyong mga personal na hugot o realisasyon matapos basahin ang kanilang istorya. Anong aral ang inyong napulot? Aling bahagi ang pinakatumatak sa inyo? Mag-iwan lang po kayo ng komento sa ibaba. Bawat isa sa mga ito ay mahalaga sa akin. Hanggang sa muli nating pagkikita sa mga susunod pang mga kwentong ating pagsasaluhan. Naway patuloy tayong makahanap ng liwanag at pag-asa, kahit sa gitna ng pinakamatinding ulan ng buhay. Nagmamahal at taos-pusong nagpapasalamat.